You obsessed with this fucking plastic fucking. Maybe what?
But you go here just and thing, you go flat woman and from that mom. What's on? That's so good. Yeah, that's so good.
That's so nice.
Okay,
Carry that one to that, yeah.
okay,
Young Ducky Aishi. Lucky man.
Tell a man, Jamaica the flat here. Man in Jamaica don't flat here.
Jamaica. Man in Jamaica.
You know what I mean?
Ah, Jamaica. He said.
Johnny Maker.
Jamaica.
you want meat, Johnny. Take it there, you're going to be a lot of that. Take it easy.
Yeah, woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, woman.
No, man, okay, what do you want?
Me?
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's keep going, boy.
But now what she like? Don't turn off the lights. Now what she like? Can't believe how sweet girl like you. All right, good afternoon, everybody. If you could hear me and you can see the screen, say good afternoon in the chat, and we're gonna jump straight into it today. I know a lot of persons can't make it today because of some sporting activities happening. So, and those who have to leave early, that's no problem. Or those who would join late, I'll try to send the video recording right after class. So our aim today is that we have to finish this algebra worksheet. Once we get through all of it, it would mean that we would have covered all of the major questions that come for exams. So that should put us in a better position, right? All right. So once you guys are ready, you have your book, your pencil ready, your calculator especially close by, because there's certain things you would have to work out for me, and then there's certain things that I would work out for you. So once you guys are ready, just say ready. Let's get started. All right, so that's 3% so far. Just waiting for more persons to indicate. Are you hearing me better now? Because I don't know, something was happening with my mic. Is it better now? Okay. Just waiting a few minutes for more persons to confirm that they are ready. All right, so let's jump straight into it, guys. Now, when we first started algebra, I spoke to you about these 5 different factorizations, and hopefully you would have been able to go over it. So we're gonna look at this question, and we're gonna see first what type of factorization is each, the conditions that we need to look for to confirm that that's correct, and then we're gonna answer it. All right. So the first thing we have here, but let me just go through the list quickly. The first type of factorization is the distributive law. You use the distributive law when they have something in common. So let me write that. Should I write it, guys? Just to make sure at least we know it. So all the terms have something in common. All terms have something in common. So that could be a constant, which means all of them have a number that can be divided throughout. That could be a variable, so all of them have one variable or several variables in common, or signs. So if they have a sign, that is also something that you could consider to factorize using distribution. Grouping is always 4 terms, and you have 2 pairs that have something in common. That's the condition to use grouping. And when I say condition, it means that this is the thing that you're looking for in order to know if you should use each specific type of factorization or not. So as I was saying, it must be 4 terms, and the 4 terms are broken down in 2 pairs that have something in common. Then we have the difference of squares. So just like we should know, difference means subtraction of squares. So that means we need to be looking out for 2 square terms. So that would be a square minus b square. And once we know that it is the difference of 2 terms, we find out the base number a, the base number b, and then we insert it into this formula, a plus b, a minus b. Then we have the perfect square, but I'll be honest with you, this one hardly comes in exams, but the perfect square is if we see 2 terms, a plus b square, and this is how it usually looks, a plus 2ab plus b square. And then there's a subtraction version of this, a minus b, a square minus 2ab plus b square. B square. And then we have the AC rule, which is a whole set of steps on its own, which we will do when we get the questions done. So just to quickly recap that. When do we use the distributive law? We use the distributive law when all of the terms have something in common. And that's the first one you should ask yourself, is this distribution? If it's not distribution, you move on to the next one, which is grouping. How do we know if something is grouping or not? It must have 4 terms, where 2 pairs of each term would have something in common. So the first 2 would have something in common, and the second 2 would have something in common. The difference of square literally is what it says. It's the subtraction of 2 square terms. Keeping in mind that terms could be either a number or a letter, which we call a variable, or a combination of the 2. Perfect square, this is the formula. All right, so let's look into the first one. Here we have 4y squared minus z squared. So question everybody, which one this one look like? Based on what we just discussed. Because you shouldn't just start working it out. You should try to figure out what type of factorization this is. Someone says the difference of squares. Do you agree? Keeping in mind, my one condition for class is participation. So I need persons to indicate yes or no. Is this the difference of two squares? Let's look at the first thing. Is it the subtraction of two terms? Yes. So that one condition is met. Now we need to determine, is 4y square a square term? Yes, it is. Because what times itself will give us 4? 2. And what is the base of y squared? Y. So that means if I multiply 2y by 2y, that would give me 4y squared. So that means my A term would be 2y. Everybody following? Now the second term, which is z squared, how do I find out the base of z squared? What times what gives you z squared? Obviously, z times z gives you z squared. So the b term is obviously z on its own. So how did we factorize that? Once you know who is your a and your b, you substitute it into the formula a plus b, a minus b. So in this case, guys, what would my answer for part 1 be? So that means 4y squared minus z squared is equal to, we have the first bracket, which we have the plus, and then we have the second bracket, which we have the subtraction. So all we need to know now is who is our A and our B, which we found already. A is 2y, and B is Z. All right? If you got it, say got it. If this is the first time you're learning this is perfectly fine. But as we move forward, you're going to see a lot more examples for us to practice. Now we're moving on. Question number 2 says factorize this. The first thing I notice is how much terms we have here. 4. So that means, obviously, based on our conditions, what type of factorization is that? That is grouping. So let me show you how do we work a grouping question. So I'm going to write it out again. 2ax minus 2ay minus hx plus by. All right. Once everybody ready, say ready. Oh, this is B, not H. Sorry. It's just how the question is written out. I'm looking at the chat. 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 All right. So once you see it is 4 terms, we know it's grouping. Right? And so just like what I said before, what do we do first? We group the first two if they have something in common. And if you look at 2ax and 2ay, we should definitely see what they have in common, right? Similarly, we group the second two, right? And we should see what they have in common as well. Now, let's go. What would I pull out? I have to factorize. So you factorize using distribution. That's the first one that we learn. You pull out what they have in common. And in this case, anybody could tell me what they have in common? What does 2ax and 2ay have in common? They have 2a in common. So we pull out. When we say pull out, we actually are dividing it. So when you're factorizing and you hear somebody say pull out 2a, pulling out actually just means you're dividing by that term. So here, if we pull out 2a, 2a is going to be on the outside. And what's going to happen here once we divide out? This is going to cancel. So what's left back? What's left back is x minus, this is going to cancel as well, y. All right, let me make sure everybody with me. Everybody okay? All right, now let's look at the next bracket. Now this is tricky because something that you should know that you're working towards is that you have to make sure your brackets match. So for example, if I look at the second bracket, I could tell what they have in common. What do they have in common? They have B in common. But the truth is you either have to pull out a positive B or a negative B. Algebra past paper. So if I pull out plus B, positive B, watch what's going to happen. I'm going to end up with what? If I take out positive B, they're going to leave me back with a negative x. Sorry, negative x and positive y. But that creates an issue for me because everyone should know when you're factorizing, grouping, you tend to need these two brackets to match. Everything match, the letters match, but what does not match? Our signs. Everybody notice that? So that means that I need to reconsider what type of B I pull out. So instead of positive B, I need to pull out negative b. Watch what's going to happen when I pull out negative b. So that means we're dividing by negative b on both sides. So what do we know here? This and this going to do a cancel. So we're going to left back with positive x. How are we looking so far? We realize that's what we want. We want a positive x. Then what should we notice as well? When you divide a positive term by a negative term, what type of term you're going to end up with? So even though the b's get canceled, we can't cancel a negative sign. So that's what's going to be left back. So we're going to be left back with a negative y. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you're aiming to achieve. You must get, and let me be clear, this don't happen all the time. If you notice you have the same variables but different signs, that's when you make the adjustment. If you realize you have something completely different, it means you can't go any further. If you got it, say got it. So this is what we call manipulating the equations with the signs, right? Integers. So now that we get to this phase, what you should notice, right, guys, is that your brackets match. How do we factorize? What is the art of factorizing? And to pull out what they have in common. So if you look at this, each side have the same brackets in common. So let's pull that out. So what is the thing that they have in common? They have in common x minus y. So if I cancel out that because they have that in common, what is left back? What is left back is 2 minus b, and that goes in a bracket on its own. Boom. So that is how we factorize using grouping. If you notice something here, guys, you realize we had to use distribution in grouping. So it's actually 2 factorizations in one. Yes or no? You realize we had to use the concept of pulling out what is common for both sides. All right, so we're going to move on now. So we did the first one, we did the second one. Let's do the third one. Here, what type of factorization is this? And I'm going to make this one easier for us. Anytime you have an equation, a quadratic equation, and everybody should know how a quadratic equation looks. It looks like this. Let me use different colors. A x squared plus b x plus c, where a, b, and c are all numbers. So anytime you have an equation where the highest power on x is 2, that is called a quadratic. Anytime you have an equation, so if I had x plus 3, where the highest power on an x is 1, this is called a linear equation. If you got it, say got it. So let me say that again. A quadratic equation is where the highest power on our variable is 2. A linear equation is where the highest power on the variable is 1. So 2 persons said that they got it. Anybody else? Because these are the things you need to know, because these are the things that are going to tell you what you should do, how you should approach the question, how you should answer, right? All right, so let's get back here. So the AC rule is used to solve or to factorize quadratic equations. So once you see an equation that looks like that, aka this last one, that is the method that needs to be used. So let's rewrite the question. 3x squared, so you see x squared is the highest power, plus 10x minus 8. All right? So AC, let me ask this question because I'm going to be honest with you. Everybody in here should have done this already. So confirm with me, even if you don't remember, did you learn how to factorize using the AC rule? Yes or no? And I need everybody to answer that at least. Even those who just looking. Have you learned how to factorize using the AC rule already? Okay, I'm seeing majority of persons say yes, so that's a good sign. So today should just be us focusing on strengthening and remembering the steps required. All right, so let's touch it up now. What is the first thing we need to do? Obviously, what is the AC rule? Okay, babes, we're going to go through it right now. It's a method used to factorize a quadratic equation, okay? It's very important. It's something that you're going to need to use, not just for factorization, but for solving, okay? All right. So let me make sure everybody ready. The first thing we're going to do is see why it's called the AC rule. Let's go back to the overall equation. Where did I get A from? When you look at this, what is A? A is the coefficient or the number in front of the x squared term. C is our constant. If you got it, they got it, because that's very important. So C is the number at the end, and it doesn't have to be at the end there, because some people expect all quadratic equations to look like this. So let me give you an example. 3x plus 5x squared plus 3. Everybody in this case, what value is my A? Let me test something here. Let me see if we focus in. What is the value of my A? But this gonna tell me who paying attention to details, who gonna pass because they paying attention, and who might miss the pass because they're not focusing. Let's go back up here again. What did I say was the A? I said the A is the coefficient of the x squared term. The x squared term ain't in front. A must be the term in front. So your job ain't to go look for who is the x squared. Who is the x squared? Where is the x squared? The x squared is located in the middle. So even though general quadratic equations look like this is also a quadratic equation. It doesn't have to be in the front. So that means my A is 5. Let's go step it up, people. You see why I was giving all your puzzles? Because puzzles require you to look. Stop assuming that it's going to be straightforward. The exam will not be straightforward. All right, so what is my B? What is the value of my B? Excellent. Now we're cooking on gas. B is the value or the coefficient in front of your x term. And in this case, it's in front. So it's going to be 3. And then C, what's the value of C? Excellent. Let's try another one because I want to see something here, okay? 5 plus 3. I don't know what's up with my obsession with 3. Let's say 8. 8x minus 6x squared. Everybody, what is my A value? I just want everybody to know that I'm going to have an issue with all my students tomorrow. I'm gonna have to grab all my students tomorrow because I don't teach them what's going on when they see a minus sign in front of a number. So I'm gonna have to get active in here. And I also taught all of you this as well. So actually, I should literally beef everybody in here right now. No, everybody remember now. Okay, thank you. Very good. Keeping in mind that the formula is positive, guys. The formula is positive. So providing that you see a negative sign here, it means this actually is plus -6. If you got it, say got it. Excellent job for catching on and making the adjustment. Very good. See, I just have to get violent inside here for y'all to pull it together. And no. So we got -6. B, what's my B? Because we're focusing, we're paying attention to details. So everybody gonna tell me the right answer. Excellent job. Remember, it's the coefficient only. We don't carry the variable. The coefficient would just be the number itself in front of the x, okay? So that would be 8. Very good. And my C is equal to 5. Excellent. One last one to test your understanding. So if I have now x squared minus 5x minus 4, what is my A? Very good. Very good, guys. Very good. Very good. B, excellent job, guys. Very good. B, don't forget what I just teach you, what we just talk about. What we just talk about, guys. What we just talk about. Nobody should be telling me +5 because these are the things that make the difference between passing and failing. -5, very good. And what's my C? -4, excellent. So now we're ready to actually get into it now. Okay, because that's the first step you have to use to solve this. If you don't identify the correct A and the correct C, everything you do forward gonna be wrong. So step 1, identify who is your A and your C. So as we know, A would be somebody, anybody, excellent, 3, and my C would therefore be what? Hmm, 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 hmm. Fix it there for me, please. Thank you. -8, because this is my A, this is the x square, this is my B, this is the x, and this is the C, the constant. Now, everybody should know what AC means in algebra. When I say AC, what is happening between the A and the C? Excellent, multiplication. So if ever you forget, just think about that. Use your common sense. AC means A times C. So obviously, step number 1 is to calculate AC. So that's why we had to find it. So what we're going to do first is say 3 times -8. 3 times -8 is, everybody needs to know their tables, because these are the kind of things that shouldn't be holding you back. -24, because we know 8 times 3 is 24, a positive times a negative is a negative. So let me just stop right here. Everybody with me so far? If you're with me, say ready. Say with you. Yeah, say with you. If you're with me, say with you. I need to make sure we're on the same page before we move on. Okay? Excellent job, guys. Very good. So let's move. Now, this is something you need to remember. This number has factors that need to add up to the middle term. And I'm going to explain to you why we need to do that. So why is this tricky though? Because this number is negative, but this number is positive. But you should remember, what is something that you should remember? A positive times a negative gives you a negative. So that means we need to look at the factors that are both positive and negative for 24. So let's break that down. Let's start off with 1. You always start off with 1 until you get confident and you know, well, 1 could never be the answer, right? So we're going to say 1 and 24. 1 and 24. So let's start with 1 being negative. So if I use this, I'm going to get -24. But if I add it, because remember, we need to find the sum. And once the sum match the middle term, that's the factors we use it. So here, our answer is going to be what? If I add these two, my answer is going to be positive. But it's going to be positive what? Positive 23. Don't forget the rules. When the signs are different, you subtract and your answer takes the sign of the bigger number. Everybody with me? So let's look at this one. What type of answer we're going to get? Because I did this already. I'm not going back over integers, guys. These are things you have to learn. So for example, I'm only going to do this one last time because, you know, if I have -4 plus 6, the signs are different. So I'm going to say 6 minus 4 is 2. Who is the bigger one? 6 is the bigger one. So the answer is going to take the sign of the bigger number. So it's going to be positive 2. Another way you could think about it is if you owe somebody $4, right? Everybody with me? You owe somebody $4 and you end up paying them back 6. That mean a person got $2 for you? A surplus of $2? Talk to me. Look at this one now. You owe somebody $2 and you borrow $5 more from them. What does that mean? How much you owe them? You ain't owe them more now. So you owe them -7. -7. You owe them $7. When the signs are alike, you add the numbers, you put back the sign. Hello. You see, I tell you that we're going to need these things because if you don't know, it's going to be a struggle for you peoples. Last one. Suppose I had 8 minus 10. I give somebody $8, but then I borrow $10 from them. What will happen here? Me gonna know owe them how much? How much am I gonna owe them? -2. So let me tell you something. If ever you in the exam you actually forget the rules, that's normal. Think about it as a transaction with money. Everybody with me? You realize how easy it is when you think about it like that? All right, so we got a backup plan, right? But we still should know the rules. Hello. So the signs are different. The signs are different. We subtract because, you know, that's what difference mean. And your answer takes the sign of the bigger number. So let me go here. Everybody, what kind of answer am I going to get here? So 1 minus -24, -23. Excellent. We don't want none of these here because obviously we're trying to get +10. So we're moving on. What's the other two factors of 24? We could use 2 and 12. No, I don't see this going to work. Anybody could see why it's going to work because we want 10. So the question is, which one is the one you want? The first or the second? And everybody going to answer me. Which one is the right factors that we want? The first or the second? Okay, we see second. What kind of answer we need? What kind of answer we need? We need a positive answer. So which number should be which number is the one that's bigger? If we want a positive answer, we want +10. So we ain't got to pick the one where the positive number is the bigger one. That ain't what we talk about just now when we say the rules, ladies and gentlemen. So you should know if I add these two, you're going to subtract 2 from 12, which is 10. And who is the bigger one? The positive number, so it's going to give me +10. But this one, we subtract, yes, so we don't get 10. But who is the bigger one? 12, so this one give me a negative. So which one do we need? We need the first one. So this is the one that we need. If you got it, say got it. Because we can practice this again, eh? Integers is crucial, ladies and gentlemen. All right, now that we have our factors, you should know why we need the factors. We're really trying to change this from 3 terms to 4. Anybody could tell me why you think we should use 4 terms? What type of factorization we did before that used 4 terms? In factorization by grouping. So that's the actual point of this, by the way. I don't know if teachers just teach this, but that's the actual point. The point of doing all of this is so that we move from having 3 terms to 4 so that we can factorize by grouping. So look at this. We write back the first term. So that means, let me just recap. We want to break down 10, the middle term, into 2. Sorry, my pen's sticking again. So what we was doing on this side was finding 2 numbers that we could break this down into 2 so that in all we have 4 terms. And those 2 numbers is what? -2 and 12. So we're going to write back 3x squared. Even though this is how we have this here, do I need to write it in this order? Wouldn't it make sense to group the 2 positive terms and then group the 2 negative terms? Talk to me. Oh my God, somebody who got a mic on. Keep your mic off, please, guys. Thank you. So I'm going to have 3x squared plus, instead of 10x, we break it down into what? 12x minus 2x minus 8. Let me make sure you see it. This is that. This just turn into that. Everybody else remain the same. So everybody okay? Everybody with me? Everybody all right? So from here now, we just need to do a factorize using grouping. Factorize with grouping. So let's go. I'm going to rewrite it just to make it clear. 3x squared plus 12x minus 2x minus 8. Because I'm going to give y'all one to do, by the way. So let's prepare. So factorization by grouping, we group the first 2. We group the second 2. What do these 2 have in common? I want everybody to answer that question for me. What does 3x squared and 12x have in common? So we see a 3x, x, 3x. When we factorize, shouldn't we be factorizing both the sign, the coefficient, and the variable? You can't just focus on x's alone. You have to pay attention to 3 and 12. And doesn't 3 and 12 have a number in common? Both of them have 3 in common. Everybody with me? So we're pulling out 3x. When we pull out 3x, what does that mean? That means we're dividing by 3x. We're dividing by 3x. So let's cancel. 3 and 3 gone. But how much x is x squared? X squared is x times x. So if I cancel in, I only canceling out 1. That means what is left back? That means 1x is left back. Everybody okay? I hope everybody okay. I hope I'm explaining so that you can follow. If you're learning this for the first time, that's okay. We're going to do a lot of practices on this. Plus, so we bring back the plus. Let's go. 3 into itself goes once. 3 into 12 goes how much times? 4 times. And then what happens with the x? The x cancels out, right? So that would be our answer for the first bracket. Everybody with me? Because this, everybody should know to factorize basic stuff. So let's go again. What I did was factor out 3x. That means I divide each term by 3x. That's all I did. So let's try this next one. Of course, we're going to do a lot of these here today. So let's go. Everybody, what can I pull out here? What do these two have in common? Let's see if you pick up this. Somebody said -2. Excellent. How did they get -2, guys? First thing first, both of them have negative signs. So that's an automatic given. Agreed? And then 2 and 8 are even. So that means I could pull 2 from both of them. So we put our bracket. What do I mean by pull out? So that means I have to divide by 2, -2, sorry. Divide by -2. So for those persons who are telling me no, everybody see how I got the divide by -2? Because when you're factoring out actually means you're dividing out, right? So let's go, everyone. Once I divide, I'm going to cancel. So that means the negative sign gone and 2 gone. What's going to be left back? X. Everybody see that? Watch who's left back. X is left back. No, watch this next side now. You can see the signs get canceled as well. So because negative cancels a negative, what sign should I put between here? A negative and a negative cancel. Exactly, plus. And then 8, 2 into itself goes once. 2 into 8 goes how much times? 4 times. How do we know that we went right? How do we know that everything went the way we wanted it to go? Because our two brackets doing what? They match. Everybody see that it's the same thing that we did before? It's the exact same thing. We're just a little bit different at the beginning. They're the same steps. So let me go now. We know what to do from here. We pull out the brackets that they have in common. And what do they have in common? X plus 4. So that means we pull out what they had in common. What is left back? What is the remainder? 3x minus 2. So we put that in a bracket together. So we end up with 3x minus 2. All right? So what we did just now was answer all of our factorization questions. For those who feel like they lost with this, do not worry. We're going to do some more practice. It's your job to still get your notes and practice, right? But everybody okay with that? If you're good to go, say good to go. So you realize we got more factorizations coming. So I tell you, we here to practice. That's okay. All right, my loves, let's do this one. This one is extremely important to me because a lot of people see this question and they panic. So let's talk about what these things mean. Solve. I spoke about it before. When you see the word solve, it means that at the end, you must have the variable is equal to a number. So in this case, what is our variable in this equation? X. So that means when you finish, you cannot stop once you see solve until you have X is equal to a number. That means we want X on one side alone. How do we get X on one side alone? The T word. People, what is the T word we spoke about? Because that is what we have to do to solve. Excellent. We got to transpose. For those who don't remember, transposing means you do the opposite to get rid of something. We learned a shortcut about moving over the equal sign, but that only applies to addition and subtraction. So let's take a look here. Even though this is a fraction, you don't panic. You have your calculator, we could figure it out. This just means 5 divided by 2. So we have 2 bracket x minus 1 equal 5 over 2. So my question for you guys, this could be answered in 2 ways. Should I do it the 2 ways? So you could see, and then you could decide which one you think is easier for you. Okay, anything for you guys, anything for you guys. So let's try the first one. The first one, I wanted to, let me see if I could move this on the side. Okay, hold on. To see where it gone. I cropped it. Okay, look at him. All right, look at him. Ladies and gentlemen, even if you've seen this for the first time, it's better for you to see it now and try to understand anything than seeing it for the first time on the exam, okay? So please learn not to panic, learn not to get discouraged. Use this as an opportunity to strengthen your understanding or even learning anything that you can learn. That's why we're here, okay? And something I want to recommend to everyone, if you ever see I'm doing something and you don't understand it at all, write it down in your book. Because when you finish, you could always go on YouTube. You could always even message me, because you have persons who would message me. I don't get to answer all the time because of how I work, but I try. Or you could even ask another teacher or even ask another classmate. Everybody understand what I'm saying? Hello? The worst thing you could do for yourself is panic and feel discouraged. Gangsters don't do that. Yeah? Gangsters find a way. So let's go. So it's step one. Step one is I'm going to multiply out the bracket, because usually we don't ever work with brackets. So this would be the longer version. So method one. So if you know anything about brackets, you should know that it means you multiply whatever is outside by whatever is inside. So currently, what do we have outside? We have positive 2. So this means that it's going to be 2 times x, because that's the first thing in the brackets, right? So let me write that. 2 times x. What's in between here? A minus, so we're going to put the minus. And then we're going to say 2 times the second thing, which is what? 1. So we write that. 2 times 1. All of this is what we get from the left-hand side equals to the right-hand side. I'm hoping everybody's following, right? So everything from here should be pretty straightforward. So let's go. 2 times x is 2x minus 2 times 1 is 2 is equal to 5/2. If you got it, say got it. Now, transposing say to get rid of everything. Transposing say get rid of everything except x. So the smartest thing to do is get rid of the tail. You get rid of the thing attached to x last. So we're going to get rid of this. And because it's subtraction, we know that we could do what? Carry it over. So this becomes 2x is equal to 5/2 plus 2. Everybody know how to add fractions on the calculator, because this is a time where it would be very easy. Tell me yes or no. Do you know how to just type this in your calculator and get your answer? Everybody look on your calculator, and we're going to type it in to make sure your calculator give you the right thing. So some people have A/B on the calculator. Some people have A/B/C. Look for your fractions button on your calculator above. So this is what I want everybody to do. So 2x, we're practicing calculator use. You're going to put 5, press the fraction button, 2. And this is how it should look. You should end up seeing something like this. 5, a little dash, 2. Tell me if you get that. And at this point, everybody should have. Some people, your calculator may give it to you as a mixed fraction. So they would give you 2, line 1, line 2, which means 2.5. Which one your calculator giving you? The first one or the second one? The second one? Ooh. That's why I'm asking, because everybody calculator will be different. It's a good thing I asked. Okay, so press equal and then press plus 2 and tell me what everybody getting. Tell me if you're getting 4 and 1/2. Tell me if you're getting 9/2. That's what everybody getting. So whatever you get, if you get 4.5, we're gonna work with this for now because I'm gonna show you a different way, obviously. But this is just stepwise. How do I get x from here, everybody? What do I do to this? I divide by 2. Whatever you do on one side, you do on the other side. So this is gonna cancel. So x is equal to this number divided by 2. Tell me what you get. We should get 2.25. Let me know what your calculator getting you. So everybody should know that 2.25 is the same thing as 2 and 25 over 100, which is 2.25. Please use your calculators now. You have to learn how to use your calculators, everybody. Hello? Everybody see what I'm saying? Make sure your calculator giving you the right thing because sometimes it's the settings. All right, so let's try method number 2. Method number 2, and please lock in now. This is the easier or the faster version. So check this out. I don't know where I put 4 there, sorry. Over 2. Doesn't this mean that these two things are being multiplied? Talk to me. This here mean 2 times everything in the brackets. So do you know that we could just get rid of it one time because there's a number over here and there's a number over here? Do you agree? So we divide by 2 here, we divide by 2 here. Now this is the part where everybody, students who not familiar with how to manipulate this. So we know this gonna cancel and here gonna end up being x minus 1. We don't even need the brackets anymore, to be honest. So this would just give me x minus 1 on this side. And anybody could tell me if they know what they're supposed to do here? We use the distributive law in this example. My question is, does everybody know what this means? Because we need to know now. I need to know now. In our class, I don't know if it was online or not, so forgive me if it's not online. Do you know that this means divide by 2? Everybody agree? The red part. Everybody agree that this means divided by 2? So I'm going to do it the long way. I'm going to make sure you understand it the long way and then show you the short way. So look at this. This means divided by 2, right? So this means 5 over 2 divided by 2 over 1. Tell me if you agree or disagree. Do you agree? So based on our rules for fractions, we know that division means to do a switch and flip. So this would actually become 5 over 2 times 1 over 2. Everybody with me so far? Pretty straightforward, right? So what is the answer for this? I can't cancel these two because they're the denominators. Remember, you can only cancel up and down or you can cancel diagonally. So we multiply straight across. 5 times 1 is 5. 2 times 2 is 4. So everybody see the long way? Now this is the short way. Anytime you are dividing something that's dividing something else, you multiply these two numbers. So this would mean 5 over 4. Hello? So let me ask you this question. 6 over 2 over 3. Who could tell me the answer? What would this become? Excellent. Excellent. How he get 1? Because this is going to become 6 over 6 and anything over itself is 1. I am feeling a little bit better. Like we just learned a whole new skill here. Don't let these things be the things that trip you up. And this is why I try to do it the long way. So if ever you don't remember a shortcut or you don't remember what to do, you do it the long way. It might take up a little bit more time, but at least you could figure it out. All right. So if you got it, say got it. So we're going to end up with x minus 1 equals 5 over 4. So we're going to continue right away. We're going to carry over what? We're going to carry over the -1. And when we carry over the -1, that's going to become what? +1. Agreed? So we're going to end up with x is equal to 5/4 + 1. There's another shortcut you could use without your calculator. And you know why I'm going to teach you this? Because paper 1, you don't have a calculator. So you got to be able to do this as a calculator. What can I change 1 into that makes it easier to add it to 5/4? Hello? Let me see if anybody cooking on gas. How do I change a whole into a fraction that could add to 5/4? What would be that fraction? What would be 1 as a fraction so that it could be added to this one? Mia, you're the closest. But why choose a denominator of 5? Thank you, Liberd. Thank you, Shiloh. Wouldn't it be 4/4? Don't forget, guys, we got to use the knowledge that we have. Everybody seeing it now? That ain't the same thing. 1 is the same thing as 4/4. Why did I choose 4/4? Because you should know that you can only add fractions that have the same what? Denominator. Because 1 could be 5/5, 6/6, 10/10. You make it what you need it to be. If you got it, say got it. Please talk to me. So we know now that x is simply equal to what? 9/4. For those who don't know what 9/4 is equal to. So I forgot to put the answer here. The answer for this was what? 2¼ That ain't the same thing as 2¼ How much times can I get 4 from 9? I could get 4 from 9 twice. Because 2 times 4 is 8. So when I minus 8, I can left back with what? 1. Ladies and gentlemen, look at it here. Let's look at it and pay attention. The only difference here for me is, right, is that I would have used this step here as well, but we use what version? We use the calculator method. Everybody with me? So I wanted to make sure that you know how to use your calculator method and you know how to do it from scratch on your own. All right, but everybody understand it just really comes down to what? Transposing, right? All right, so let's move on quickly. Expand and simplify. First question, can you do this? Can you expand these two and simplify? Yes or no? Be honest. Okay, this is a very important skill, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to also take some time to break this down. Teachers teach this in a different way. So I'm going to teach you my way that based on my experience, students don't get wrong. But I'm going to do it the different ways. Is that okay? You know, I like to make sure we have several different ways so you have options. So I'm going to teach it my way, or I'm going to teach it the way everybody usually learn it first. So let me do it that way first, yeah. So this is how regular teachers would teach this. 2x + 5 in the first bracket, 3x - 4 in the second bracket. If you're ready, say ready. Because you need to be ready for this mentally. If you're ready, say ready. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to go. All right, then. So we know that brackets next to each other requires you to do what operation? You're multiplying, right? But because we have 2 brackets, we got to use the multiplication between the 2 brackets. So this is what usually happens. We take the elements of the first bracket, and that's currently what? 2x and then +5. And we multiply it by the 2 terms in the second bracket. Everybody with me? So let me show you using arrows, the concept. Some people just use this thing called, it got some acronym people just use. I can't remember the acronym, but yeah. So let's start off with 2x. So it's going to be 2x times 3x minus 2x times 4. So let's do that. 2x times 3x plus 2x minus 4 times minus 4. Hello? Everybody see what I did there? Let's do the second one now. I'm going to use a different color. So we're going to do positive 5, right? So that's why we get positive 5 times 3x plus 5 times negative 4. How did I do that? I take the second term and then I multiply by the same 2 elements. So let's work this out. This one is the shorter way. 2x times 3x, everybody. I just want to check something. What's that? This is something people is make mistakes with, right? So that's why we're going to do it now and make sure we all on the same page about the answer. So first thing first, what should we remember? You multiply the coefficients. 2 times 3 is 6. Then what do you do with the powers? You add the powers. How much x's you have when you multiply x by x? That's x squared. Okay, so those who made a mistake, I hope you understand it. You're with me now. Then we're going to have plus 2x times negative 4 is negative 8x. Everybody should see why. Plus 5 times 3x is 15x. Plus 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. So we have some things we got to look at. We got to deal with this because we don't have clashing signs. We got to deal with that. So let's go. We're going to end up with what? 6x squared. And we should know this becomes a minus. So minus 8x plus 15x minus 20. Is this my final answer? When I look at this, I could see, can I add and subtract anything here? Yes, I can because I have 2x terms. So I could add. And what do you notice about these two signs? They're different. So everybody tell me, what am I going to get without a calculator? Negative 8x plus 15x. What is the answer? What do I put next? Okay. Just 7? Just 7? So it's going to be plus 7x. Don't forget the rule. What's the rule? When the signs are different, you subtract. That's how we get a 7. And which one bigger? 15 is bigger, so it's going to be positive. You owe somebody $8, you pay them 15. That means they're in a surplus of 7, yeah? And you don't forget your variables, and then you put back minus 20. Is this my final answer? No. No, this is my final answer. Because you should remember, you cannot add or subtract terms that are not alike. X squared is not the same thing as x, which is not the same thing as 20. If you got it, say got it. No, here's my concerns about this. Sometimes because students just be like nervous, they just make mistakes in this area. So this is the way I've taught it. And please note, you choose whichever one that feels the best for you, okay? You're the one in the exam. You're the one doing it. You choose the one that feels best for you. All right? Don't let nobody pressure you to do something a specific way. Once it makes sense, once you understand it, you use that method, okay? So as I was saying, no, this is the way I taught it. So because we know we're multiplying by the terms in the first bracket, by the second bracket, this is what I do. I said 2x times the entire bracket plus 5 times the entire bracket. So I break it down to make it look easier. So this is how it does look. 2x bracket 3x minus 4. And then break down the second bracket plus 5 bracket 3x minus 4. Before I continue, everybody see what I did there? How I split it up? Yes or no? Talk to me quick. You just pay attention to your signs. So let's go again. Of course. Of course, of course. So let me show you again. What did I do? Maybe I should use colors. Maybe I should use colors. Yeah, let me use colors. So I break up the first bracket into 2 terms. So that's how I get the 2x and the 5. It's the same thing like what we're doing here, you know? But instead of trying to multiply the second bracket individually, I just break it up and say 2x times the whole bracket. So this would be 2x times the whole bracket. What is the whole bracket? 3x minus 4. Then I take the second term, which is the plus 5, and I multiply by the whole bracket, 3x minus 4. Tell me if you're seeing it a little better now. So look at this now. We're going to bust through this quick because we know this times this is what? 6x squared. This times that is minus 8x. Let's do the second one. You see how easy that was? Everybody see how easy that was? Then we go here. 5 times 3x is 15x. Plus, you end up with minus 20. Hello, look at that. Watch what's going on. Anybody see what's going on? Look at that. You realize you skip a step that would make it literally kind of make easier to make a mistake. Same answer though, because we reach the same place. Yeah? So there we go. We know we only got to deal with the center. So we have 6x squared, same thing, plus 7x minus 20. Ladies and gentlemen, you choose whichever one you like. If this is where you feel comfortable with, you stick to that. If you feel like this one is easier to maneuver, you try that. All right? So we're going to move on to this question here. What does this look familiar to? This ain't look familiar to what we did last week. What topic is this? From the time you see something talking about different things, it's a worded problems. Did I do ratio with you guys? I think so, right? I think I taught y'all ratio. Did I? Thank you for your honesty. I know I did. Thank you. So let's bust this down together. I'm going to read, and the first thing I am going to ask is if you could do it or not. Adam, Imran, and Shakil were playing a card game. Adam scored X points, and I like to write when I read. I like to represent the data in an easier way, so when I ready everything that they tell me, I understand because I've written it out for me to get it clear. Hello? So for me, I'm gonna then start writing on everybody's score. So I'm gonna write Adam X points. Imran scored 3 points fewer than Adam. What operation does fewer suggest I should ask? When you hear fewer, what does that mean? Minus, isn't it? So it says 3 points fewer than Adam. What does Adam have? Adam has X. Do we agree? Because that's what we have above. And Imran has 3 less. So that would therefore become what, guys? X minus 3. Do you agree? You realize, man, even watch what the question's asking me for. Being a proactive student will literally make the difference when it comes to when you read the question. Because you're done 10 steps ahead. Let's read the next one. Shakil scored twice as many points as Imran. No, you don't get Imran points here. Because this is 2 things and you want to multiply by 2, what should you be using? Brackets, right or wrong? Because you're going to say 2 times all of this, X minus 3. If you got it, say got it. Anytime you're going to multiply terms and it's more than one term together, you put them things in a bracket. That's a unit. That's a unit. You have to put it in brackets. So even without reading the questions, guess what we done do? We done write our expressions. So let's read the first question. Write down in terms of X an expression for the number of points scored by Shakil. Now, even though we done write down everybody own, this ain't easy for us to do. Hello? So just like that, by the time you're done, you could just write your answer. And what do you notice? What do you notice? This is 2 points. You think you're going to get 2 points if you write this alone? Don't you realize that you're getting points for literally finding the people before? Because to get to Shakil, you need Imran. To get Imran, who do you need? Hello, Adam. Thank you, Mia. Thank you, Gav. So our answer from this is 2x minus 3. If you got it, say got it before we move on. If you got it, say got it, talk to me, because listen, you see how this question come? This is 80% of the exam. 80% of the exam gonna be worded problems. You have to be able to read and understand. Now, let's read the next one. Write an equation which may be used to find the value of x. What do you think is the most important sentence that can tell us what we need to do? In this last sentence here. What operation does together mean? So what does that mean? When I add all of them, all of the points must equal to what? I can't tell you everything. Y'all got to be able to put the pieces together. Excellent. Everybody with me? So what are the things that you should be adding? Because this is where you're going to get your max. So therefore, you should have Adam max. What is Adam points? X. Plus Imran points. What is Imran points? X minus 3. Hello? Plus Shakil's points, which is what? 2 open bracket x minus 3, and then you must put all of this is equal to what? 39. Now from here, it says write an equation that which may be used to find the value of x. Hold on there. That's it. No, I'm gonna be honest with you. To find the value x, you realize it ain't tell you literally find it after, because it said write an equation which may be used to find it. But guess what we should be doing in solving? So there we go. What is step 1 here? This is for everybody. What is step 1? What is the first thing you should be looking at that can't be there, that shouldn't be there? The B word. What should we get rid of first? We always get rid of the brackets first. We got to get rid of the brackets, so we got to multiply with the brackets. So guess what? I ain't used that yet, so I put it back. I ain't used that yet, so I'm going to put it back. So let's multiply out the brackets. 2 times x is 2x minus 2 times 3 is 6 equals 39. Everybody with me so far? No. What is the next thing we need to do? Put all the x's on one side and then put all of the constants on the other side. No, because we're doing addition and subtraction for everything, that's easy for us to do, right? So, but we have to make sure we do it the right way. So if I move -6 over, -6 gonna become 1. So who all need to move? -6 and who? -3. Do we all agree? -3. So there we go. This x stayed plus this x stayed plus the 2x stayed equal 39 gonna stay over here. And who came over to me? 39 plus 6, because once it goes over, it changes sides. So it changes signs. And then this gonna become what? +3. So let me pause right here. Everybody with me? Everybody understand how we just did the transposing? And I only transpose addition and subtraction. So let's go, my loves. So what is the answer for the left-hand side? Because we should be able to do that. As much people as possible. What is the answer for the left-hand side? Left-hand side. There's a reason I asked this question. Come on, more people. What is the answer for the left-hand side? Yeah, that's why I asked so that I could verify. Okay, thank you very much. Now, what's something we need to know? What's the rule when you're adding algebra terms? You can add like terms, right? So this is something I want you to think about. Pretend that each term is apples. So how much apples is this? They say 1 apple. This ain't another 1 apple. plus 2 apples. So how much apples I have in all? In 4 apples. You cannot add variables and get a brand new variable. Everybody with me? I am not multiplying. Only when you multiply, you would be adding, or the powers could change. So everybody who did the 2x cubed and understand why it's not that. If I was multiplying, then that would have been the answer. But I am adding. And anytime you're adding, think about putting fruits together. I can only add fruits that are alike. I can only add apples to apples, bananas to bananas. Okay? And when I add them together, I can't get a brand new fruit. So I can't get a brand new variable. So if I'm adding x's, that's 1x plus another x plus 2 more x's, which means that I have how much x's in all? I have 4 of them. Correct? Equals to, what is the right-hand side? The right-hand side is 48. Ladies and gentlemen, algebra is the most important topic of all, you know. Okay? It's the most important of all. So what do I do from here now? I need x. I need to solve for x. So I'm going to divide, which is the opposite of times in. Whatever you do on one side, you do on the opposite side. So this cancels. So x is equal to 12. Guess what we just did? We just accomplished, how much past papers this was? 6 past papers in one. We're going to do another one. But how everybody feeling? Everybody okay? Let's get some feedback. Let's get some feedback. Are we feeling like this is helping? Are we clarifying a lot of the things that we're not strong in? Are we picking up on things that we need to pay attention to? The answer, x is equal to 12. Okay? All right, so I'm going to move a little faster, if that's okay. So this next past paper question, let me just check to make sure it's not the same thing. Hold on there. This is transposing. All right. Yeah, I know we're gonna be tired, but it's better for us to push through now than 2 weeks before the exam and we are making these types of mistakes, right? Small sacrifice for passing maths, so we never have to see it again. Well, for you guys. All right. If you're lying down, if you're feeling sleepy, shake it off. Let's go. If it's one topic I need y'all to lock in heavy, is algebra, okay? Because as we do other topics, you would realize everything that we're practicing now is the skills that we're going to need. So if you're ready, say ready. Let's go. Let's go. You're either willing to push through to pass, or you're just going to be like, So I'm going to be moving faster, guys. All right, so lock in and pay attention. So the first topic here is substitution. How do I know this is substitution? They tell me the value of each variable. So they say A is 2, B is -3, C is 0. So I know that everywhere I see A, what I need to substitute it with. So this would become 4 times, you see, it didn't say factorize. If it was factorizing, then it would have been AC rule, if you see what I'm saying. They give you the values of each letter. So that's substitution, okay? So that means that's 4 times 2 minus 2 times -3 plus 3 times 0. Everybody with me? So let's break this down. This is going to be equal to 8 minus -6 plus 0. And what should we know? We should know a negative and a negative becomes a positive. So our answer is 14. If you got it, say got it. Let's move. That's all I need y'all to do for me. Confirm. And I'm also taking note of when people said no, so that I could know after when we're doing the overall revision, I'll focus on those areas, okay? So like I tell you, I got you. Just try to follow as much as possible. No, this next one, it says A to the power of C. What does A represent? A represents 2. What is C? C is the power of 0. What's the answer? Everybody, what's the answer? And I don't see we're going to get violent in here. Come on, let's go. Probably the internet. Can you hear me now, guys? Y'all hearing me? So that's very unfortunate, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to tell you why. I remember I threatened now about the integer laws. I'm looking for it, because I like to pull up evidence. We went through the integer laws when I taught anything to the power of 0, and I said that, I said, I'm going to forget this. So here's the living proof. Hello? Everybody seen it now? I'm pausing for this because you won't believe how much times this will come up in the exam and how much students will get this wrong. So let's lock it in now. Anything to the power of 0 is what, everybody? It doesn't matter if it's a variable, a chicken, a bird, a number. Anything raised to the power of 0 is 1. All right? Let's not let that happen again when it comes to us forgetting those simple, straightforward rules. The answer is just 1. All right, so let's move on now. You see, we have the next question, factorize. What type of factorization is that, everybody? Take a try. Even if you ain't get it right, just take a try. Look at it and tell me which one you think it is. AC usually has 3 terms, but this has how much? 2. So you start from the top, don't start at the bottom. What's the first factorization that we went through? So this first one, what's the first type of factorization we did together, guys? The one with the D. Distributive. So if you look at 7mp square plus 14m square p, these two ain't got things in common. Yes or no? So first we got to look at 3 things. What's the 3 things you're looking for? You're looking for sign, you're looking for the coefficient, then you're looking at the variable, and then you're pulling out the highest common factor. So let's start with the coefficient. Well, both of them is positive, obviously, so that's given. But let's look at the coefficient. Does 7 and 14 have anything in common? Excellent. So 7, look at the m's. This one have 1 m, this one has 2. So how much m's I could pull from both sides? I could get 1 from each, so that's 1 m. Same thing with the p. This one got 2, this one got 1. How much I could pull from both of them? I could pull 1 from each. Everybody understand now? Hello? Make sure you got it, All right. Now, what is our next job? Our next job ain't to write them all left back. So let's go. For the first term, because you end up with a first and a second. When I take out 7, 7 gone. M ain't gone as well. Let me rewrite this so that it's easier for me to explain. So 7mp, open bracket, something plus something. So as I was saying, I'm going to divide by what? A 7mp. The 7 gone, the m gone, and how much p is gone? One of the p is gone. So what left back? Just p. Do you agree? So let's divide by 7mp again. So 7 into itself once, 7 into 14 twice. So that's the 2. This got 2 m's, this got 1. So we take out 1 each. So what's going to left back? M going to left back on the top. And then the p's are gone. So this is our final answer. If you got it, say got it. Excellent. Let's look at the second factorization. What type of factorization is that, guys? An excellent job, everybody, for trying. Very good. I'm really proud of you. Now, somebody said grouping. Why we know it can't be grouping? Because how much terms is this? This is 3. How much do we need to use grouping? We need 4. So the only one that we could use here is what? AC rule. So excellent job to those who realize it's AC rule. So let's start off, and everybody should know the steps. 2y squared minus 11y plus 15. So let's go. What's the first thing that we just find? We just find what? AC, right? So A is what? 2. C is equal to 15. So that means we need to find the factors of 2 times 15, which is 30. Anybody notice what's going on in the middle? What's going on in the middle? What type of number in the middle? A negative. So how could I get negative from positive number? Isn't there a rule that tells us what? A negative times a negative is a positive. Everybody see that? So that means what type of factors we looking for? We're looking for 2 negative factors. Let me know if you understand what I'm talking about. Yes? No? This is where integer rules come from. This is where integer rules comes from. So let's go. Obviously, it can be -1 times -30 because the signs are like that and give me -31. Everybody agree? There we go, there we go, there we go. Next factor, -2 times -15. Why this can't be it? What is the answer when I add these two things together? Let's see if we're on the same page because this is things you have to do on your own. When I add -2 to -15, what is that going to give me? When the signs are like, you add the two numbers and you put back the sign. So it's going to give me -17 when I add them. Don't forget, you got to add them to get a middle term. Is there any other numbers that give me 30? Yeah, -5 times -6. When I add these two, what do I get? -11. Everybody see we got our numbers now? Do we have our numbers? How would you group these two? So let me ask you a question. You have 2y squared. Which one you would put first? The 5 or the 6? Let me see if you're paying attention. Which one of them you would put first? The 5 or the 6? Only a few people answer. One to everybody else. When I did the last example, explain how do you know how to group it properly. I have a 5 and I have a 6. Look at the two numbers we're trying to match with. I have a 2 and a 15. Wouldn't it make sense to match the 5 and the 15 and the 2 and the 6? Everybody see what I'm saying now? So -11y gonna become two separate things, which is now what? -6y minus 5y plus 15. If you got it, say got it. I'm pausing right here. If you don't got it, that means you know what you need to go and do to get, you have to know this, you know. This does come 9 out of 10 times for exams. And the truth is, even if they don't ask you to factorize, there's a topic that comes with solving quadratic equations, and you could use factorization to solve quadratic equations. So you have to know these things, okay? What do we do from here, guys? Now that we have 4 terms, we know that all we got to do now is group, right? Factorize by grouping. So I'm just going to bust through this quickly because everybody should know what is happening. So what these two have in common would be 2 and a y. Everybody agree? When I divide by 2y on both sides, I'm going to end up with y minus 3. Yep. Then when I look at these two, I have to pay attention to the signs because watch this. Here the y is negative, but I don't want it to be negative. I want it to be positive. So instead of pulling out +5, I'm going to pull out what? -5. Make sense now, everybody? Because now that's going to allow me to switch the signs. So I'm going to pull out -5. This is going to give me y, because when I pull out -5, that gone. And when I divide by -5, this is going to give me what? -3. A positive divided by a negative is a negative. Hello? So anybody can tell me what's the final answer? The final answer, therefore, would be what? Y minus 3 to y minus 5. I took out the common bracket, y minus 3, and then these two go in a bracket in itself. You see, we do it again, the AC rule. Everybody okay? Let's go again. We're moving on. What topic is this? Algebra fractions. Didn't we touch this before? So I'm going to bust through this quickly. So everybody lock in. X minus 3 over 3 minus X minus 2 over 5. This is easy. You know why this is easy? Because what is the denominator? The denominator is just two numbers. So what is the LCM? Because we know to subtract two fractions, we need the LCM. What's the LCM of 3 and 5? Excellent job, ladies. Very good. So that's 15. Everybody with me so far? How do I change 3 into 15? I multiply by 5. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. Do you agree? Because this is two things, I have to use the brackets. That's how we're going to end up with this. And let's make sure we understand that this is the same thing as that. Yeah? Okay, minus over here now. How do I change 5 into 15? I multiply by what? 3. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So this is going to become 3x minus 2. So my question to everybody is, can you handle this from here? I just need to know, and then I'm going to finish it. Can you handle it from here? It looks a little bit overwhelming. So there we go. 5 times x is 5x minus 5 times 3 is 15. What am I multiplying here by on this side? Am I multiplying by positive 3 or negative 3? Very good. Very good, guys. Very good. It's actually negative 3 you're multiplying by. So negative 3 times x, negative 3 times x, which is negative 3x, minus, this is the minus, and then negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. What do you notice here? What these two? And you put all of this over 15. So this is going to become what? 5x minus 15 minus 3x plus 6. Everybody see how I got plus 6? Is this my final answer? A negative, these two negatives here. This negative and this negative is what clashing. Mio, you see it? Leo. These two negatives gonna clash. That's where they clash in here. You see it now? Everybody else, do you see how we get a double negatives? Because this negative clash with this negative. Because you can't just throw this away. You have to account for this here. All right, so let's go. Is this my final answer? No, because we have to group our like terms, right? So this is going to become 5x minus 3x. Keeping in mind, if I move 3x, I got to move it with the minus sign in front of it, huh? Minus 15, because the minus comes with the 15. Plus 6 over 15. So my final answer is what? 5x minus 3x. If I got 5 apples, I take out 3 apples. That leaves me with 2 apples. What's the answer for negative 15 plus 6? Because I don't think I could literally teach this again. The signs are different. You subtract your answer, take the sign of the bigger number. What number is that? Remember, your sign is more important. It's very important. Okay. Minus 9 over 15. That's your answer. If you got it, say got it. Moving on, because we're almost done. So let's do this one. I'm going to crop this out. New page. Okay, let's do it here. So let's do the first one. Factorize that. What type of factorization is this? X squared minus 5x. Anybody? Anybody at all? No one knows? If that's okay, if you don't know. Anybody want to try? So let me ask this question. Is this AC rule? At least we are on the same page with this. This is not the AC rule. How much things you must have for the AC rule? You need 3 things. You need your A and your C. And this don't even have a C. Agreed? So it can't be AC rule. Is this the difference of 2 squares? Is this the difference of 2 squares? It's the difference, but is it the difference of 2 squares? 5x is a square? Ah, because 5 have to be a square number, so it's not that. Is this grouping? Is this grouping? How much terms we need for grouping? This should be an easy one. We must have 4, so it can't be grouping. What's the last one that we need to use then? This ain't distributive then. Them 2 things ain't have something in common. What they have in common? Both of them got something in common. What do they have in common? Exactly. Exactly. So that means I could pull out the x because that's the only thing they have in common. Both of them have an x term. So let's pull out the x term then. When I pull out the x term, I'm dividing by x. So let me go. How much x left back? A x left back in here minus what? Minus 5. Just so easy. So is this becoming any easier? Everybody see how your thinking should be? Eliminate. Is it AC? No, you move on. Is it distribution? No. Sorry, if it's a grouping, no, you move on. Is it the difference to square? No, you move on. You use the one that left. Let's look at the next one now. X squared minus 81. What is this? Is this AC rule? No. Is this grouping? No. Is this distribution? This is the excellent, because 81 is a square number, right or wrong? I'm glad that they bring this one here so we could go through it now. Hello? Hello there. Can you hear me? Darlings. All right then. These 2 are square terms. Exactly, darling. Aaliyah, very good, yeah? So what would be the base of x squared? So what is my A? What times what would give me x squared? What is the square root of x squared? X. Very good. What is the base of 81? 9. How do we factorize this again? The A plus the B, bracket the A minus the B. So what's my answer, everybody? In x plus 9, x minus 9. Oh, you're getting lit. Hold on there. Hold on. My pen. I get excited and my pen just stopped working. Okay, we're back again. X minus 9. Hello, if you got it, you got it. So far, I feel like we should be able to feel better with AC rule. We should feel better about distribution. We should feel better about the difference of 2 squares. We should feel better about grouping. But we do a lot of factorization today. Let's go. Let's do this last one. No, this is what is true of students. So I'm going to rewrite it, and I want you to tell me the truth. If you could answer this question, if you know what to do. It says simplify it. But I'm going to be honest with you, simplify is a very overall term. It's not specific about exactly what should be done. So be honest with me. Do you know what to do when they tell you to simplify that? Yes or no? Everybody, let's go. As much people, I need to know if you know what to do. Because I want to be able to know, I might have to teach this completely. Okay. You know why this question is probably the one that students tend to do bad in, because a lot of people don't really know how to think when they see it. Because when you look at this, simplify means you add what you can add, you divide what you can divide, you subtract what you could subtract, you multiply what you can multiply. When you currently look at this, you know that I can't add these 2 at the top. Do you agree? I want to make sure we go through the line of thinking that everybody should have. We're going through when you see a question like this, these are the questions you need to be asking yourself. So you look at the top first. You be like, okay, I can't do nothing at the top. Then you look at the bottom. Then you should also notice that what? You can't do nothing at the bottom. Everybody agree in terms of you can't add nothing, you can't subtract. No, think about it like this now. When you look at the top, I can't factorize though. Agree or disagree? Can't we factorize everything to the top? And then look at the bottom. Can't I factorize everything to the bottom? So when you see that, that's the first thing you need to do. Everybody agree? Another thing is, what should we also pay attention to? What does this line tell us that we got to do? This line is an operation, yeah? It means to divide. But you can only divide if you are multiplying two things that the top and the bottom have in common. So let me explain what I mean. So check this out, because I want to make sure you understand the difference of when you could divide to the top and when you can't divide to the top. So check this out. A plus B over A times B. Can I do any canceling here? And let me don't even write A times B. Let me write AB. Can I cancel here? See, that's why I ask him. Are both the top and the bottom being multiplied by the same thing? 1A in addition and 1A in multiplication. What did I teach y'all before? The only time you could cancel is if it's a product of the same thing. Because that ain't what canceling mean. Canceling mean you ain't dividing by something they have in common. You got to keep these things in mind, ladies and gentlemen. You see what I'm saying? So you cannot, this is the answer. There's nothing you could do here. You can't do a thing here. Watch this now. Or even better, sorry about that. Let me use it. Let me make it harder. Can I cancel here now? I'm watching the chat, you know. And if you don't talk to me, I can't understand what you're thinking. So I can't know how I should explain or not. This is where you help me help you. I ask a question. Can I cancel here? Yes or no? Stop being afraid of being on getting things wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, I can cancel. Why can I cancel? Because AA was being multiplied to both things. Look at it. Don't even worry about the expanding. You can expand. Here, you can expand, but I'm talking about looking at this and knowing if you could cancel something. Everybody see what's going on here? This A mean A times the bracket. This A mean A times B. So that means that I am multiplying both the top and the bottom by something in common. So that means I can cancel A now. So this would give me A plus B over B. Look at the difference. If you got it, say got it. This is an extremely important skill in the whole of maths. You have to know when you can and you have to know when you can't. You have to know why. I just explained why. So please lock this in mentally. This is the difference between getting full marks and not getting full marks, yeah? All right, so now that we have that, let's take it down. Let's break this down. So let's do the top first. Let's factorize the top. So we got A squared plus 4A. What type of factorization is this? We just do something very similar. It is not difference of square. It is not grouping. It is not the AC rule. It's not the perfect square. Which one it is then? It's the one with the D. What type of factorization is this? Distributive. So what do they both have in common? Let's go quickly. Y'all should be able to do this for me. Quick, quick, quick. What do they have in common? A, so we put the A outside. What gonna be left back inside? Everybody should be able to do that as well. What will be left back inside? If you pull out an A from each of them, you pull out the A, what gonna be left back? Gonna be A, because if I divide by A, no problem, lovey. You divide by A on both sides, it's gonna give me A plus 4. Hello? So that means the top is equal to A plus 4. Everybody with me? Let's factorize the bottom now. What type of factorization is that? Excellent. Excellent. AC rule. So A would be what? 1, because you know anything with a variable on its own, it has a 1 as a coefficient. C is equal to -4. Hope everybody agree with that, right? So that means AC is equal to -4. So we're looking for negative, the factors of a negative number that gives you a positive number. So what does that mean? 1 must be positive, 1 must be negative. So let's try 1 and 4. So let's try 1 and 4. Let's make this negative and make this negative. Okay, I know when I add these, what type of number am I going to get for the first one? Am I going to get a positive 3? And then the second one, I'm going to get a negative 3. So which ones do we need? We need the first one. Main explaining this again because we should know why. Everybody with me? Yes? So this is going to become A square minus A plus 4A minus 4. Yep, that's how we should break down the middle part. No, we continue by grouping the first two, grouping the second two. Now, why is this one easier? The signs are already lining up the way I need it to line up. Everybody realize that? So all I need to do is just pull out what they have in common. Here, they have in common A. So there's going to be A minus 1. Here, they have 4 in common. So I put positive 4. We're going to be left back A minus 1. How do we know we're going good? Our brackets match. So what's the final answer? A minus 1, A plus 4. What did I do this for? Because now I'm going to put it back up here. Then what the bottom equal to? So this is the answer for the top part when we factorize. So the bottom part when we factorize was what? A minus 1, A minus 4. Now, ladies and gentlemen, watch this now. Can I cancel? Tell me if you're seeing it now. Can I cancel? Do you see it now? Do you see what you need to be doing now? Because what can I cancel? Sorry, this is supposed to be plus. Sorry. I hope everybody's seeing it, you know. I could cancel the A plus 4. Excellent. Because what is happening with both of them? Both of them is multiplying. Everybody see the point I was making before? So what is your final answer? Your final answer is what left back, which is A over A minus 1. Can I cancel this? Can this be cancelled? Can A and A minus 1 cancel? I mean, I ain't paying attention. Anybody multiplying anything here? There's nothing being multiplied by these two things that make it easy to cancel. Remember? So this is the answer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to stop. Let me look at one more question and you tell me which one you want me to answer. So we could do this one. It's up to y'all. We could finish these. Would you like us to finish these 3 at least? Finish them? Okay. All right, let's finish this one. I'm going to do this a little quickly because we did something similar in it. So let's go. 2 cassettes and 3 CDs cost $175, while 4 cassettes and 1 CDs cost $125. Given that 1 cassette costs X dollars and 1 CD costs Y dollars, write 2 equations to represent this information. Can you do this? Because we did this already, yeah? Hello. So let's go. 2 cassettes, that's 2X, because they say the cassettes is X, right? So 2 cassettes, that's 2X, plus 3 CDs, which is 3Y, is equal to 175. What's the second sentence? 4 cassettes, which is 4x plus 1 CD, which is just 1y or y, is equal to 125. If you got it, say got it. I just want to make sure we understand how I got that. Because we did that last week, I think. No, I'm just gonna work it out, eh? So I done give you all the steps already. It's already in your notes, I think. If I need to send a video from last week, somebody just remind me to send it, and I will. So now we're gonna work out this downstairs here. All right, so let's go. What's the first step? We labeled equation 1, equation 2. Now for me, I would eliminate x. So I would just multiply this by 2. So I'm gonna get 2 new equations. So this is gonna give me 4x plus 6y equal, what's 175 times 2? I need people on the calculator, please. 350. So this will become 3, and then I rewrite 2. Everybody see why I did that? I want to eliminate x, so I made the coefficients of the x match. No, because both of them are positive, I could subtract, because 4 minus 4 is what? 0. No problem. 6x minus x is 5y. Sorry. And when I subtract 350 minus 125, I'm going to end up with 350 minus 125 is 225. So all I need to do now is solve for y by dividing by 5 on both sides. They're going to cancel. So y is equal to 45. So now that I have y, what do I do to find x? I substitute this into any of the equations. So substitute y equal 45 into, which one I like the most? I like equation 1. So instead of, you're going to have 2x plus 3y equal 175. Let me see, 175. So everywhere I see y, I'm going to switch it out to the 45. So that's 2x plus 3 times 45 equal 175. And what do I do from here? Transpose and solve. So this is 2x plus, what is this? 3 times 45. That should be about 135. Yeah. 135 equal 175. And what do I do next? I carry this over because it's plus. So that's 2x is equal to 175 minus 135. What is that? 40. Anybody back checking anything I'm doing? Because I just estimated, nobody is saying nothing. 40. So that means we divide by 2 on both sides. Cancel. So x is equal to 20. But I do not finish until I say, therefore, x is equal to 20 and y is equal to 45. If you're good to go, say good to go. This is how we solve simultaneous equations. We eliminate one of the variables, we transpose to find one. Once we find one, we substitute it into any of these equations and we solve for the second one. All right, now we're gonna do this one. Oh my God, this looks like a lot. Look at this. Everybody watch this. Oh my goodness. Let's leave this one for last. Mentally, I need a minute. Let's do this last one here. So if you're ready to do this last one, let's do this one now. So when I look at this, the first thing I know I need to do is eliminate the brackets, right? So I have to multiply by -8. So this is going to become 6x, which we don't touch yet, minus 8 times x is -8x, plus minus 8 times 3 is -24, equal 10. But here's a shortcut that you could do. Because you know that this is the negative and the plus, you know it can clash, right? So they're going to automatically become what? 6x minus 8x minus 24. Everybody with me? Hello? All right. So there we go. 6x minus 8x is... What is 6x minus 8x? Okay. What about your sign? Is it positive or is it going to be negative? 6 minus 8 is -2. And because of the x, it's going to be -2x. Then what am I going to do with this? I'm just going to do what carried over. So it's going to become 10 plus 24. Remember when it goes over, it changes, it becomes the opposite. So we're going to end up with -2x is equal to 34. So now we're going to divide by what? -2 on both sides. So this is going to cancel. So x is equal to what? -17. Somebody back check for me. Is that true? All right. Do y'all, okay. Let's take a vote here. Do y'all want me to do this one for sure? It looked like a lot because I think I should just in case. I'm gonna do it. So if you want to leave, that's fine. I'm just gonna do it for those who want to see. Because I prefer to at least say I did it in case something like this comes. Whenever you see the word show means that they give you the answer. So you just gotta work it out to prove that the thing they give you is true. So you see, they say show. So that means that after you don't work out all of this, you must be able to make it equal to a cube, b cube. So I'm going to do this on a first page. So all you gotta do is look, pay attention, follow, and that will be it for today. I'm gonna put this on a new page. I gotta take a deep breath. Whew, but this is a lot. Whew. Now, when I look at this, the first thing I have to pay attention to in the brackets, this is a lot of brackets because first thing first, this is 2 brackets in itself. This means a minus b times a minus b. Everybody agree? I just want to make sure you understand, even if like I'm going to work it out, but you still got to understand. When you do this, you're going to get an answer. Then that answer, you got to multiply it now by this next bracket, which is a plus b. And then that going to give you one big thing. So you got a big thing and you put your plus. And then here, this is also multiplication, right? You're multiplying by these stuff. And then that will give you an answer. And by the time you finish that, you should be able to cancel, wherever, simplify. And what should be left back after that is just a cube, b cube. So that's what I'm going to do now. But I'm going to do it advanced because I obviously could do this faster. I know what a minus b squared is because remember I gave you this formula. Let me go back. Because I just want to prove that I gave y'all that formula earlier when we did the factorization. Everybody see that? Look it down here, sorry. The a minus b squared. Everybody see that? This is something CXC expect you to know out your head. That's why they give it to you, by the way. So they even though it look like a lot of work, because they expect you to know this, that's why it should be easier. So that is what I'm going to be using. A minus b squared is just a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Everybody with me? So I'm going to multiply this by a plus b. But because I'm smart, I'm going to put A plus B in the front to make it easier for me. Because what I'm going to do is say A times all of this and then B times all of that. So I'll come back to that. So this plus, I'm going to work on the second half. So this is going to be AB times A, which is A squared B, plus AB times B, which is AB squared, equal A cube plus B cube. So let's work out this now. So this is going to be A times all of this, which is A squared minus 2AB plus B squared. Then plus B times all of that again, A squared minus 2AB plus B squared. Whew. Plus all of this, because that's what I get when I multiply that, A squared B plus AB squared. I have to take a deep breath because even me like, oh my goodness. But y'all okay? Everybody okay at least? Let's do the next step. So there's going to be A cube because A times A squared is A cube minus 2A squared B plus AB squared. Everybody agree with that? All I'm doing is multiplying this by this by that, and this by that. Let's do the same thing here. So B times this is plus A squared B. And I'm putting it in alphabetical order. Everybody see what I'm doing? I always making sure I put it in alphabetical order. So A is always in front to make it easier for me when I'm done. Hello? Because remember, BA squared is the same thing as A squared B. So this one going to be minus 2AB squared plus B to the third power plus A squared B plus AB squared. Lot of mussy. Now, what do we do now? And look for all the like terms. So I'm going to use boxes and I'm going to use circles. Everything that have A squared B, I'm going to put in a box. So that's minus A squared B plus A squared B plus A squared B. You seen it? Everything that has a B square, I'm going to circle, plus AB square minus 2AB square plus AB square. This is a thing by itself. This is a thing by itself. So what's going to happen now? So let's take the two things by itself. A to the third power plus B to the third power. Let's put all of the AB squares together. This here and this here, A, and give me 2. So let's put back negative 2A square B. A AB square plus a AB square A, and give me a 2AB square. 2 square B, sorry. I hope you all understand where I'm going. These two, this here and this here, and give me 2 of them. That's how I get this one here. Hello? Sorry, I scratched out the wrong thing. I ain't see me scratching out the wrong thing. Is the ones, this here and this here. Right? So let's do the blues now, the blue ones. So I'm going to end up with 2 of these here. These is 2. So that's plus 2AB squared minus this one minus 2AB squared. So let's look at this now. These 2A are cancel each other. Negative 2 plus 2A equals 0. Yeah? So that means this and this going to cancel out each other. Same thing here. 2AB squared minus 2AB squared. This and this going to do cancel out each other. So therefore, what is our final answer? A to the third power plus B to the third power. If you got it, say got it. We made it alive. Oof. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today is the last day we're going to do anything. This is something that I think they would bring similar to this year. Like you see, anytime they say show, they've been doing that a lot. So show means you just got to work out all of it, get your answer to prove it that it's like that, okay? Next week, we're going to be doing functions. We did this already, so that should be good. We did simultaneous equations before, so that should be fine. The only thing that I see with this is an advanced simultaneous equation. So maybe what I will do instead next week is do one, so you can see, because we've not done any of the advanced version. This is called quadratic simultaneous equations. It was a lot, right? This is how the exam looking. These are the things we got to do. So last question, everybody, was today helpful? Was today, in your opinion, productive? Was today something that definitely helped you in terms of where you at, what you know, what you understand? So listen to me. Next week is functions, relations, and graphs. Let me show you how. I think I should be able to send you guys the questions in advance. Hold on there. So for those who don't know what I'm talking about, I just want to show you before you leave, so that at least but I can't gate flip. How to gate flip? Hold on there. I'm a genius. I can figure this out. At the current page. Okay, so I can take this now. What's going on? The Babylon system trying to fight us down, yeah? But, okay. I should be able to do that. I was like wondering what's going on. Okay, so now I could zoom in so I could show you guys how the questions look. So this is now question number 4. So when you see f of x and find f of 4, f inverse, find the composite functions when the function is has a fraction form like this, stuff like that. Yeah, this is it here. And then graphs. Question, how much people already know how to do graphs? So you know how to plot a graph, you know how to find the gradient off of a graph. Like, let me know how y'all feeling about those things. Because I need to know if I have to split it, or we could do all of it one time. So tell me, split it, so make graphs a class by itself, and then so next week we function only on functions. I'll join them together. Feedback, please. I don't know what no is. Split it, separate it, make it 2 separate classes. Start all over on graphs. Okay, majority saying separate it. And what I'll do everything on graphs one time. We're gonna do everything on graphs one time, so you would know majority of the things that are gonna be on graphs. Okay, all right. So next week is just functions. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. See you guys next week. Bye.